Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to Throwbacks, where we talk all things cool and retro. And welcome to the Toy Tour Part 3, physical media, or in this case, VHS. We do have tons of DVDs and Blu-rays we will get into in a future video, but for now, we're going to start off with my VHS collection, which is pretty substantial. So let's do a quick overview. We're not going to hang out all day. It's VHS. It's either you love it, you hate it, or you're indifferent to it. But there is some cool gems in here that we will touch on. So let's just go from left to right, up and down, and we'll start off with this is kind of obviously a space where I've got room to fill in. But we're moving down. So notable stuff in here is the Hulk Hogan section. Kind of got Mr. Nanny and No Holds Barred, Tropic Thunder, and of course Suburban Commando, some of the Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and of course you got to have Titanic sealed, so that's a pretty cool one there. Moving down to kind of the main reason people collect VHS is kind of for this section right here, which is the horror section, very 90s centric, obviously, in here with movies like Scream, The Crow, Idle Hands, a lot more stuff like that. You got your Alien 3-pack there. And we're cruising on down to the Shocker, which obviously needs to be in the horror section, but it flows down a little bit. We got Dick Tracy, the Mortal Kombat movies, of course, American Pie, and the Goonies. Funko Pops are keeping it company. Down here, we got kind of just a... sorry about that. Kind of a miscellaneous shelf. A lot of these, I'm a Jaguars fan, so I've got those. And a Florida Gator fan as well. So I've got those, but just kind of a lot of extra stuff that, you know, if I ever run out of room, obviously there will be cuts made there. Now we're moving back up to shelf number 2, and we're going to come into Star Trek, Star Wars. One of my favorites, movie that doesn't get talked enough is The Last Starfighter. Very, very good movie there. Let's go ahead and zoom this out a little bit. You do have the Star Wars messed with version there. So pretty cool. And then you have a lot of other versions as well. Special edition, trilogy, another set. And then episode 1 and 2 of the prequels. So moving on over here, we've got a nice set of funny kind of other mixed in stuff with Senior Trip, one of my favorites as a kid. Probably should have been watching it, but you know how it is. National Lampoons, Pauly Shore, the great Pauly Shore son-in-law, Encino Man, and of course, Viva Los Biodomers. We got E.T., which apparently I have E.T. over there too, so just notice that so I can make one of those cuts. One of the great Buffy, Vampire, Big, some wrestling videos. We have a sealed Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling VHS, so that's a pretty cool one there. There's some other good ones. Highlander 2, Endgame, etc. there. Moving on to kind of the kids section here. Some good gems here. One of my favorite things that I found hunting was this VHS, and this is Universal Studios Florida. It's kind of like I guess it was like a promotional thing probably that they sent out. But man, it's just cool. Get some really old school in-depth stuff of different rides and attractions from the opening time frame of that. So very cool there. And coming down, we got Band of Brothers, a mix mash of Dragon Ball Z, and then Centennial, which, if you had a football coach who taught history, good probability that you probably watched Centennial for like the whole entire year. So that's that. Kind of moving on to a little more kid / randomness here, like Mask that I just randomly picked up. And hello, child. You come to visit us. So I'm going to pause this real quick. But hey, we're live, pal. The joys of fatherhood. So, kind of there you got your Indiana Joneses, stuff like that. Then you come down to a pretty cool section. It's kind of like the muscle men section of the 80s and 90s with your Stallone, Demolition Man, Daylight, and then you get into the pumping irons. Arnold kind of set up here, Conan Jr., Twins, Predator, all that great stuff there. Moving on down, we got some scary movie. I guess this should technically probably be in my Hulk collection, but it's not going to happen. Babylon 5, good stuff. Beetlejuice, another classic. Some more little Funkos. Kind of where I put my random Funkos, since I'm not really a Funko guy, so I keep them there. Then you got a good old Reading Rainbow. I'll pull that out. Definitely a cool one to have. You know, just one of these old ones that you would have in, the classroom as a kid. And then a good old Blockbuster weekly rental. So there you go. There's your kind of how to make the 2-day and weekly rental work for you. And then more just kind of randomness. Now we're going to move on over to, there's a little peek at one that we'll have pretty soon, which is my autograph collection. But here is kind of where I make my hay, and I'm just going to sit down. We're going to hang out. We're going to do crisscross applesauce. So this whole setup is kind of my, what I would have had as a kid, or what I did have as a kid. So we start off at the top here with Ernest Goes to Jail, which needs to be lower down there. It needs to be. Oh, I must have been watching Ernest. Your Power Rangers, green set, all that good stuff. Lots of Power Rangers, lots of Power Rangers. And then we get to kind of where I really, really make my bread with the VHS. This is recorded off TV. So most of these have been bought off of eBay and things like that. But you really kind of get the full experience of watching TV as a kid. You get a whole shebang of Snick. You get a whole thing like The Big Help, Pete and Pete. The Snick at Night set with 1 and 2, Guts, Double Dare, and then on to some other Nickelodeon favorites. Like the Rugrats, Duh, Good Burger, all those beautiful things. And some more randoms, another Last Starfighter, The Rocketeer, and then the Ernest movies. And of course, here we are with some amazing, amazing Ninja Turtles. Here's a really good one. The Coming Out of Our Shell tour. And this is the making of, so awesome there. And also the making of Secret of the Ooze. So very cool. Original 4 Batmans. Surf Ninjas, because you gotta have Surf Ninjas. Captain Planet, along with some Magic School Bus. Tailspin, and the like. What else we got? We got one that would, definitely be in a school, I would assume. Probably throwing up in the library or something like that. And then you got things like Beetleborgs, Little Nemo, and of course Willy Wonka, and X-Files, Mighty Ducks, and An American Tail. So that is my VHS collection. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do you guys collect VHS? Do you have any interest in VHS? Do you even remember VHS? And did you see anything on here that you're like, man, I would love to have that, like, a Fox Kids from 1994, where you're watching the commercials and all that good stuff. But do us a favor, give us a like, give us a comment, and be sure to subscribe. We are on our way to 300. It'd be awesome if you helped get us there. So for myself and Uncle BJ, we're going to throw one back, and we'll talk to you next time.